Now, Lara Yeretsian, former defense attorney for Scott Peterson. She served on the original defense team, and Jon Buehler, one of the detectives who investigated the case. All right, Lara, I presume you think this is a positive development, but what exactly is new here?
Well, at least based on the motion that's been filed, there's new evidence tying some of the burglars potentially to the disappearance and the murder of Laci and the child. And at least based on some of the DNA testing that they're asking for, I mean, I didn't have time to read the entirety of it. It's I think, 1,500 pages. But at least by just seeing the DNA testing requested, you can tell that they're trying to connect the burglars and the burglary to her disappearance and murder based on the testing that they requested on items that were found near the bodies that were recovered later, and items that were found inside and left by the burglars at the Medita's house, and the mattress, and wanting to test the mattress and a piece of cloth and the blood. So we know that that's what they're trying to do, and my understanding is there's new evidence connecting these individuals, and also new evidence connected to some of the witnesses who had seen Laci walking her dog that morning.
But the new evidence, so to speak, is just an eyewitness who, the problem is that they have so many people who called in with eyewitness accounts. I mean, this is what Paula Mitchell, the director of the LA Innocence Project, says. During my investigation into Mr. Peterson's claim of innocence, I've encountered numerous witnesses who have expressed hesitation and in some cases an outright unwillingness to provide information they have that pertains to Mr. Peterson's case, specifically because this case is too high profile, and these witnesses feared coming forward for that reason. That's not new evidence. Jon Buehler, what do you make of this? You investigated this case. You've read the motion. What's new here?
Well, Dan, I don't really see anything new that's come across here. It's all stuff that seems like it's being rehashed one more time. The burglars were cleared, of course, from involvement with Laci. We could never find any clear connection between them and Laci. Property from not only that burglary was all recovered, along with property from unrelated burglaries. And in addition to that, we had a large reward in effect during this case, which grew to $500,000. And to think that anybody who was involved in the disappearance of Laci wouldn't roll on one of their cohorts to collect that money is kind of a fantasy for me. I welcome them to DNA test more evidence. Feel free to do it. I have no doubt we got the right guy. We were able to clear everybody else out. He was the only one who gave us conditional cooperation throughout. So I don't really have any worries on this. I think it's going to be interesting to see where it plays out.
Let me play a little bit more from Diane Sawyer's interview. This is number 2.
Do you really expect people to believe that an 8.5-month pregnant woman learns her husband has had an affair and is saintly and casual about it? Accommodating? Makes a peace with it?
Well, you don't know. No one knows our relationship but us. And that's at peace with it, not happy about it.
Lara, it seems to me that the Innocence Project is ignoring sort of everything Scott said himself, right? This idea that he himself was asked what he was doing that day. Initially told friends he was playing golf, then he switched it to he was fishing, and then the body's found. So I guess the theory now is that Laci Peterson sees the burglars across the street robbing the house, and she interrupts it. They don't just kill her, they abduct her, and they hold her body until they find out where Scott Peterson was that day, and then months later, they dump the body in that bay to frame Scott Peterson. I think that's the theory, right?
Well, Dan, the one thing that you're not mentioning is that during the first trial, the prosecution position was that the burglary happened the day after Laci went missing. And I think there's evidence now that it actually did occur the morning of her disappearance, on the morning of December 24th of 2002. And yes, all right, maybe what the prosecution was able to prove was Scott lied about Amber Frey, or was lying to Amber Frey. But lying, fine, he was a liar, he lied about one thing. Does that make him a murderer? Where's the evidence connecting him truly to the crime?
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.